Solo Leveling, Volume 6 by Chugong. The news of Jinwoo Sung's decision to single-handedly intervene in the S-rank dungeon break devastating Japan spreads globally. Announced by President Jinho Yoo, reactions are mixed. Widespread disbelief, mockery among some American S-rank hunters who underestimate the threat or Jinwoo's capabilities, and cautious respect from others like Thomas Andre, who makes a symbolic bet on Jinwoo's survival against his skeptical colleagues. The world watches as Jinwoo, accompanied only by the determined D-rank hunter Jinho Yoo, equipped with his usual expensive gear, prepares to face an unprecedented catastrophe. At Incheon International Airport, Jinwoo and Jinho navigate a media frenzy. Jinwoo, calm and collected amidst the flashing cameras, bids farewell to President Go and manager Jinho. Go expresses his reluctance, but respects Jinwoo's resolve, asking only that he return safely. Jinwoo, driven by the opportunity to level up and expand his army, confirms his motivation is simply the desire to fight magic beasts, having secured the rights to the giant's remains from the desperate Japanese government. They board a private jet sent by Japan. In Japan, survivors cling to hope at the news of Jinwoo's arrival. In a small, isolated nursing home, two elderly owners refuse evacuation offered by young, terrified Japan Self-Defense Force soldiers, unwilling to abandon their immobile patients. One soldier, moved by their dedication and ashamed of his fear, decides to stay and protect them. As a giant approaches, having already killed his partner, the soldier prepares for a futile last stand. Suddenly, Jinwoo's Naga shadow soldier, Jima, intercepts the giant. Jinwoo appears moments later, having sensed the danger. He reassures the terrified soldier, assesses the nursing home is too close for a large battle, and instructs Jinho to wait. Jinwoo engages the giant, noting its surprising speed despite its size. His initial punch is partially dodged, but using ruler's authority to pull the beast closer, he unleashes mutilation with his demon monarch's daggers, blinding it. The giant flees, but Jinwoo intercepts it using flash and finishes it with a fatal strike to the head, leveling up. This is giant number 3. As Jinwoo extracts the shadow, Jinho rejoins him, having kept the grateful soldier and elderly couple at bay. Meanwhile, Jinwoo's deployed shadow army divisions wreak havoc on the giant invaders across Japan. Beru leads the ant army, overwhelming giants with sheer numbers and ferocity, much to the shock and catharsis of Japanese reporters documenting the carnage, and occasionally losing cameras to Beru's annoyance. Igris commands the elite knights and ice bears, demonstrating tactical prowess and protecting civilians. Tank, the ice bear leader, relishes the combat. Fang leads the high orcs, using amplified magic effectively. Jinwoo uses the giants his soldiers defeat to extract more giant shadow soldiers, rapidly bolstering his forces and leveling up repeatedly through shared experience. He deliberately uses his newer Naga soldiers, like Jima, against giants first, letting them gain combat experience despite the risk. Jinwoo and Jinho continue their eastward path toward Tokyo, the epicenter of the dungeon break. Jinwoo systematically defeats giants, his level climbing rapidly, reaching 114. He notes the mental fatigue setting in despite his physical resilience. They set up camp for the night, Tokyo visible in the distance, resembling the ruined cityscape of the demon's castle. Jinwoo senses the immense, ominous mana radiating from the Gate Guardian in Shinjuku, a power far exceeding the other giants. The black heart pounds in anticipation. His shadow armies converge near Tokyo. Igris's elites and bears, Fang's high orcs, and finally Beru's ant army. Nearly 1,000 soldiers stand ready. Jinho, awestruck and terrified by the scale of both Jinwoo's army and the final guardian giant, looming like a skyscraper, retreats to a safe distance. Jinwoo summons his 13 newly extracted giant shadow soldiers, adding their hulking forms to the front line. With a command, the shadow army charges the colossal Gate Guardian. The battle is brutal. The guardian giant moves with impossible speed, unleashing devastating sliding attacks and physical blows that wipe out swathes of shadow soldiers, who regenerate rapidly at the cost of Jinwoo's mana. Fang's fire breath proves ineffective against its mana-reinforced skin. Jinwoo observes calmly, using his immortal army to probe for weaknesses. He notices the giant instinctively protects its face. Summoning Kaisel, Jinwoo, Igris, and Beru take to the air. The giant swats Kaisel away instantly, but Jinwoo and Igris land on it. Igris's lightning attacks confirm the face is vulnerable. Using ruler's authority, Jinwoo pulls himself and Beru close. While ground troops attack its ankles, Jinwoo and Beru launch a relentless assault on the giant's face. Jinwoo using mutilation on its eye while Beru attacks from within. The giant falls to its knees as its tendons are severed and finally crashes down, defeated. Jinwoo receives notifications for 4 level ups. However, confusion arises. The system message only says you have defeated an enemy, not the master of the dungeon, and shadow extraction fails. The giant's corpse begins to crack open, and Beru emerges, covered in gore. Suddenly, the dead giant's mana violently flows back into the S-rank gate, which vibrates ominously. Sensing an even greater presence within, Jinwoo instructs Jinho to wait and enters the gate with his army. Inside, the dungeon is impossibly vast. Jinwoo proceeds cautiously, his army following silently. He hears faint, joyful laughter echoing from the boss chamber. He confronts the source, a humanoid figure resembling the gate guardian, chained and pierced within the chamber walls. The figure, identifying himself as Regia, the king of giants and monarch of the beginning, reveals he was imprisoned by the rulers, ancient enemies of the monarchs. He explains the gates are tools used by the rulers to infuse Earth with mana by sacrificing magic beasts, denizens of chaos, preparing the world as a battlefield for a renewed war against the monarchs. Regia activates an oath of sincerity, negotiation, compelling truthfulness from both parties. He warns Jinwoo that both monarchs and rulers will hunt him, as he now wields the power of the original Shadow Monarch who betrayed the others. Regia offers his alliance in exchange for freedom. Jinwoo tests the oath, trying and failing to lie. He asks Regia if he is on the side of humans. Regia falls silent, unable to answer truthfully due to a black essence stone embedded in his neck, compelling obedience to the ruler's command to kill humans. Realizing the deception, Jinwoo attacks, fatally stabbing the chained monarch multiple times before decapitating him. You have defeated the master of the dungeon. Jinwoo levels up 8 times, reaching level 122. He confirms Regia, as an astral body, cannot be extracted. He retrieves the king's black essence stone. As he leaves, the defeated king's released mana floods the human world, signaling a fundamental shift. A few days prior, in the US, Christopher Reed, a national-level hunter, dismisses a warning from Mrs. Norma Selner, who foresaw his death in a dream at the hands of shadowy figures. Later, Chris awakens in his mansion to an unnatural silence. He confirms his senses are being manipulated. Before he can act, a blonde man with pointy ears, the Frost Monarch, appears, speaking of rulers and fragments of luminosity. 2 other figures emerge. Chris transforms into his fiery state, engaging the intruders in a desperate battle that destroys his mansion and the surrounding forest, ultimately ending in his death. A gaping hole pierced through his chest. Jinwoo, planning to return to Korea, is contacted by Adam White on the plane. Adam reveals Christopher Reed's murder and shows Jinwoo security footage and photos of the prime suspect, a man identical to Jinwoo's father, Jinwoo Sung, who reportedly emerged from a dungeon, defeated Dongsu Huang, and vanished. Adam explains the Hunter Command Center plans to issue a wanted notice at the International Guild Conference. Jinwoo, stunned and suspicious, agrees to attend the conference to investigate. Back in Korea, Jinho receives an urgent call about a family matter and returns home. Jinwoo, sensing Jinho's distress, uses Shadow Exchange to secretly visit Chairman Myung-han Yu's hospital room. Finding the chairman in the final stages of eternal sleep disease, Jinwoo administers an elixir of life, curing him instantly and fulfilling an unspoken promise to Jinho. He leaves undetected just as the chairman awakens, baffling doctors and guards with his miraculous recovery. Jinho later learns of his father's recovery and is deeply moved upon finding newspaper clippings his father kept about Jinho's recent exploits with Jinwoo. Meanwhile, Jinwoo continues clearing high-rank dungeons in Japan, now noticing a significant increase in difficulty and encountering new, dangerous magic beasts due to the absence of mana stones absorbing ambient magic power. He reaches level 123. At the International Guild Conference in the US, Jinwoo is the center of attention. He meets Adam White, who offers Kamisha's runestone as incentive to join the US. Jinwoo, however, becomes fixated on photos showing Kamisha's preserved corpse, realizing the potential for shadow extraction. Adam, seeing this unexpected interest, agrees to arrange access. Jinwoo is escorted to the Hunter Command Center headquarters underground facility housing the dragon's remains. After 8 years, shadow extraction is highly unlikely, but Jinwoo attempts it. To everyone's astonishment, Kamisha's shadow rises, capable of speech. However, fueled by residual hatred for humans, it nearly unleashes its breath attack before Jinwoo commands it to stop, reminding it that the ruler's control, via the Essence Stone, is gone. Kamisha acknowledges Jinwoo as the Shadow Monarch, but begins to disintegrate due to the elapsed time. Before vanishing completely, it warns Jinwoo about 4 humans borrowing the ruler's power. The extraction ultimately fails, leaving Jinwoo deeply frustrated. As Jinwoo leaves the Hunter Command Center, he learns from Jincho Yoo that Jinho was lured away hours earlier by Dongsu Huang, using Jinwoo's name. Enraged, Jinwoo deploys his entire shadow network across the city to find Jinho. Simultaneously, Thomas Andre discovers Dongsu has escaped surveillance and mobilizes the entire scavenger guild to find him before Jinwoo does. Jinwoo locates Dongsu in an abandoned factory, brutally torturing Jinho for information about Dongsu's death. Jinwoo arrives via shadow exchange, incapacitates Dongsu's accomplices, a healer and another high-rank hunter, and tends to the critically injured Jinho. He confirms Jinwoo is alive, but needs immediate powerful healing. Confronting Dongsu, Jinwoo overpowers the S-rank hunter with ease. Just as Jinwoo is about to deliver a final blow, Thomas Andre arrives. Having sensed the conflict, he demands Jinwoo release Dongsu. Jinwoo refuses. Thomas, enraged by the defiance and Jinwoo striking Dongsu, transforms into his reinforced state. Jinwoo summons his army. A massive battle erupts. Jinwoo's thousands of shadow soldiers against the 100 elite hunters of the Scavenger Guild led by Thomas. Jinwoo clashes directly with Thomas, discovering Thomas also possesses ruler's authority. Jinwoo adapts, using superior speed and tactics to land significant blows, injuring the invincible Thomas. The battle escalates, with Thomas unleashing destructive AoE attacks, demolish, capture. Jinwoo evades and counters, eventually overwhelming Thomas, breaking bones and leaving him battered and bloody on the ground. As Jinwoo prepares a finishing strike, Adam White arrives with Hunter Command Center reinforcements, pleading for him to stop. Thomas weakly concedes defeat. Jinwoo halts his attack, sparing Thomas's life but leaving him unconscious. Dongsu Huang is found dead, killed indirectly during the fight or by Jinwoo prior. The next day, news of Thomas Andre's defeat by Jinwoo Sung explodes worldwide. Jinwoo deals with the fallout, ensuring Jinho receives healing, sending Beru via shadow exchange. At the final day of the conference, Jinwoo attends, learning about 9 global points of high magic concentration from Dr. Belzer, one being above Seoul. Director Brannon officially announces Reed's death and publicly identifies Ilhwan Sung as the prime suspect. Chugong Liu questions Jinwoo's stance. Jinwoo declares he will protect his family, even against all other hunters. At the night of the hunters' party, Jinwoo is approached by Thomas Andre, who expresses grudging respect and asks why Jinwoo spared him. Jinwoo replies, "None of you did anything to deserve death." Thomas, through Laura, offers a gift. Jinwoo requests powerful daggers. Jinwoo then meets the other top hunters identified by Adam, discreetly placing shadow soldiers with them as requested by Mrs. Selner, preparing for the monarch's inevitable attacks. He learns the number 6 hunter from Brazil is missing. Back in Korea, President Go works late, contemplating his failing health and Jinwoo's rise. Suddenly, his office is isolated dimensionally. The Frost Monarch appears, revealing it has located all 7 fragments of luminosity, rulers in human vessels, and killed 2. Gun-Hee-Go reveals his own hidden power, battling the monarch fiercely but briefly before being fatally wounded. With his last strength, He shatters the dimensional barrier, allowing Beru, hidden in his shadow, to escape and alert Jinwoo. Jinwoo arrives instantly via shadow exchange, confronting the Frost Monarch. They clash briefly. The Monarch, recognizing Jinwoo's power but prioritizing escape, forces Jinwoo to choose between pursuit and saving Go by throwing an ice spear at the dying president. Jinwoo saves Go, but the Monarch escapes through a gate, wounded by Jinwoo's thrown dagger. Jinwoo tries to save President Go, summoning Beru for healing, but the wound is too severe. President Go uses his final moments to warn Jinwoo about the coming conflict and urges him to protect humanity, dying peacefully. Devastated and enraged, Jinwoo holds a press conference, warning the world about the intelligent magic beasts, monarchs, hunting powerful hunters, and offering his protection, intending to use the hunters as bait to draw out the monarchs. He vows to avenge President Go. The volume ends with Jinwoo preparing for the escalating conflict, the Frost Monarch reporting Jinwoo's existence to other monarchs, and two deciding to join the Frost Monarch in eliminating the nascent Shadow Monarch while he is still vulnerable in his human vessel. If you enjoyed this book breakdown, please consider liking this video and subscribing to get notified when we post our next book.